getting you live and uncensored.
That makes me nervous because see now I have to live up to the hype, whatever it was. You might be
Oh,
disappointed.
I'm sure I won't.
Wait till he dances naked on his desk.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
That's not recorded, is it?
It's not
I think
naked
it is, Dave.
if
I
you're
think
wearing.
it is.
It's not really naked if you're wearing glasses. So
There you go. There you go. We call it the full Monty.
yeah.
For those of you who've seen the movie, the Oscar winning movie,
What
if you
what
have
is the
check
full
it out.
Monty?
It's called The
I
Full
haven't seen
Monty. It was a British film, and it's pretty darn funny, and it's also got a lot of great messages and wisdom. So check it out when you're like flipping through your movies, thinking what should I watch? Just check it out, and I think it's good for a laugh and some fun. So
I love how Vaughn is rehabbing a house while we're doing real estate meeting.
yeah, there you go. That's multitasking.
What's going on, buddy? It looked like he tried to say something, but we didn't hear it. I didn't hear
it. Hey, Justin. I mean, can I launch right into a little quick question, or later, or when? I do have something that's going on right now. I could begin to go into that, or we could save it for later. What would you?
Yeah, Jessica, I think that's perfect because I was going to ask if anybody had any Q&A they wanted to start out with or role play stuff. That's what we do here. So yeah, okay. Right on cue. Perfect.
Right on cue. Okay, so I go launch right into it. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay. I don't see who else is watching. I only see me and Dave and you, Justin. So I don't know if there's other people watching or not, but
yeah, there's me and you and Dave and Ben and Vaughn here in the Zoom room. And then we are on YouTube so that we can watch it later so that folks that miss it in the groups.
To be on my good behavior then. Be on my good behavior. So I had an opportunity come up yesterday through something that was bad, which often does turn into something really good, you know, when we do that, when we turn it around, flip it over. A work associate of mine, someone I met at the real estate club, was presenting a multifamily opportunity, multiple units of a memory community that was for sale. And the deal didn't go through as it was supposed to. There was some things that were changed during the negotiating phase, and he withdrew. And I know somebody that does a lot of that type of real estate, like connecting people who are looking for 1031 exchanges, and he's been in the business a long time. And he's very good at what he does, and he's got really good integrity, and I feel comfortable recommending him to connect the two. I was wondering, what is the best way to connect those two people? And is there some way that I can kind of be a part of the process and maybe have a small share of the earnings and stuff like that? So there's my question.
Yeah. On a multifamily deal.
Right? Multiple units.
How many doors?
Property. I believe it's new construction. And
how many doors? 2 doors? 4 doors? 5 doors?
No, it's like many doors.
I think it's like a complex.
80 units or 100 units. Yeah, it's a big complex, and you know, people come in just for a share. They don't buy the whole thing themselves. They just buy a share of it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not a big multifamily guy, so I don't have a lot of experience in that, you know, complexes and things of that nature. Okay. I used to work for an investment banker, and we used to do some things that were big like that, but not that in particular. Okay. And so I don't know that I would be giving you the best advice. So maybe Claude's going to pop on. Maybe he can answer that one.
Yeah, and I've got an appointment with him too tomorrow to discuss it, but just on a principle though, we'll take the multifamily away for a moment and just as a kind of a referral business, when referring, you're connecting two professionals together for a mutually beneficial arrangement. And I'm kind of like the person that, the dating service kind of thing.
Yep.
So how can I
understand?
Kind of ethically and maybe have a little bit of a winnings from that or something without losing my finesse, is there a way?
This is a tough question because it's illegal in most places in the United States to collect referral fees and make partnerships between two other parties, agreements to set up agreements, to solicit deals without a license.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I see we as real estate wholesalers, those of us that wholesale real estate here, not all of us do, but we always have to have the contract. So we get it under contract with the homeowner or the property owner, and then we assign.
You're a principal in the deal at that point.
Yes. So then we assign that deal with an assignment agreement. All that can still be done with multifamily as big as you want to go. The Empire State Building, they could do that if they wanted to. Okay, so that's all possible. Now, whether that's the best way to do it on your particular deal in this multifamily, I cannot say for sure, but I can say that yes, you would need to be on the paperwork somehow, or you would have to be willing to make a deal under the table, be paid illegally, and so on and so forth.
That's not good. What about a gift? Are they allowed to give me a gift or something like that? Is that?
No.
Okay.
No. They got this on lock. There's no way to get around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you refer this to Claude, because Claude's specialty is in contracts?
Yes, that's great idea. Yeah.
Because he would know what you could legally put into a contract to receive something from a deal.
Yeah, I'll discuss it with him. And I don't mind if I don't get any monetary compensation. I'm really glad to put these two great people together. But I just did wonder, Claude's talked about sometimes giving himself away a little too much. So I didn't know, not that this is the case with this, but just, there are times maybe that we can benefit from those type of connections and, relationships and stuff like that. So that was my
Well, I am not suggesting that you get involved in this, putting this relationship together, being the matchmaker, and then just get a pat on the back or a pat on the head. Good girl, you did good. Thank you. Okay.
Right.
I'm suggesting that you make money. Mm-hmm. And honestly, what makes this a hard question too is there's probably numerous ways to go about doing that.
Okay.
With the paperwork.
Okay.
And the assignment method that I was talking about, that works on single family properties and big stuff too, but it might not fit that particular buyer and seller. He may be paying with a lender and he needs this and such, and he's going to put you on the HUD as a marketing expense, and everybody in the deal's okay with that. Maybe something like that. It could be that easy.
Yeah, we want to keep it legit. We don't want to end up getting arrested or anything.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you too, just as point of reference, in the investment banker world where I'm from, we charge 2% up to the first $5 million. So, that's not a lot of percentages, but it's a big deal.
For sure. When you're dollar,
when you got a complex, you might be talking about several $1 million in purchase price, and 2% of that is a nice stack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, just a thought. Okay, you can work all that out, but Claude will Claude will help you dial it in, but let me be at least encouraging to you that there's a number of ways to do that. I know, I just don't know what to advise you as far as what's best for that one particularly.
Okay, I appreciate that. You've given me some good ideas. So much.
No worries, no worries. And you want to use guts.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So when you call these guys, what are you going to say? Let's talk about that. Since we're here, what are you going to say?
Well, I've already spoken with them initially, and because it was something that it was time sensitive. So I spoke and said, I have an idea that could be helpful for you. And I've been working with a gentleman over a number of years, and I feel comfortable recommending him because he's really good at what he does. And I would like to put the two of you together.
Yeah.
You're comfortable with that? And he said, oh, yes, please.
Okay. So you've already talked with this guy and everybody's on board. Okay, good.
Yeah. And good. I love doing this kind of stuff. And I've been doing it. I've been doing it all my life, this kind of, because I love kind of helping out and stuff. But I remember Claude's words, sometimes we do that. And then like you say, we get a little pat on the shoulder, but we don't always get a financial, compensation. So I thought maybe I should just see if that is something that is possible in this situation. And I spoke to the other party as well. And he said, bring it on, baby, bring it on. So I was like, hey, this is going to be a great relationship. And, this is going to be beneficial to both parties and probably to me at some point, even if not right now, maybe down the road, because I'm going to be doing business with probably both these parties. But I didn't know also if there was a way of right here, right now, kind of not forgetting about myself and including me in that, scenario.
I think you're on the right track. Yep. Stick with it. Yep. Okay. That's good. Yeah. And keep us updated because, here on Wednesdays, I've got a golden cowbell. And when somebody makes money, I ring the cowbell. It's pretty loud. We'd like to ring it for you. Yeah.
Okay. Is it 24 karat gold, did you say?
Yes. Well, 24 is not quite because that'd be too soft. It wouldn't ring quite so good.
Or is it 24 karat spray paint?
Yeah.
Actually, it is spray paint. How'd you know, Dave?
The budget of the show.
That's right. I lost my sponsors. Yeah. Well, it's good to see everybody here. Good to see Garrett here, and again, Vaughn and Ben and Dave. Any you guys got any role play scenarios? What are you working on with folks on the phone? Are you prospecting? What's happening to you? Is there something that I can do to help you knock off some rough edges? Maybe fix a problem and. Usually it's something small. It's kind of like fixing a car. Usually it's something kind of small, but, it costs you being able to use it. So let's just throw a new piece on there and make it work and get it on up the road. Anybody got? Go ahead.
Yeah. How come you want to put a right to assign the contract in there if you're going to buy it?
Oh, okay. You're saying the homeowner is saying that to you. Yeah. So are we talking about a cash offer or a lease option here?
Cash offer.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Well, I don't get that question a whole lot, but here's what I've been saying, and I want other people to answer it too. And so when the homeowner says, okay, well, why do you need and or assigns in your contract if you're going to be the one buying it? Why do you need and or assigns? I've tried two different methods. First one is this. Well, Mr. Homeowner, you see, me and my partners, we buy properties in several different ways and we do several different things with them. Sometimes we keep them and fix them and flip them, and sometimes we rent them out as landlords, and sometimes we send them off to another partner. And that's why we need that. We just like to keep our options open. Okay, to me, that's a little wordy. But that is a good answer, in my opinion. It's almost like going into explainer mode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's going to put them to sleep. Okay. So what I've been saying as of lately is that we need the and or assigns in there because sometimes our accountant wants us to close in a different LLC.
Yeah.
As we buy many investments. Is this an issue, sir, or can we just go ahead and move forward today? Okay. You might really hit him between the eyes and say, Mr. Homeowner, my accountant sometimes wants us to put this in a different LLC at the last minute, and that just allows us to make the changes that we need. Is that really what's keeping us from doing business today, or was there something else? Okay. I like that too. I like that.
That one's better.
So, anybody else want to role play this scenario? Please step up to the plate. Ben, Dave, Garrett, Jessica, Vaughn, even. Okay. What would you say? How would you say it when the homeowner comes to you and says, hey, you sent me this ugly house purchase contract, but it says and or assigns. Why would you need and or assigns if you're buying a house? Blah, 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 blah.
I'll give it a run.
In different ways. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're still going to get what we agreed to. Maybe sometimes it's a situation where we might want to rehab it or rent it out or maybe even hand it off to another partner. But that's not what's keeping us from doing business, is it?
Yeah, see, that's a little bit like a little bit like my option one was, like kind of a little bit wordy, and I feel like anytime you get into how your business works, you're off track. Okay. Yeah. Like go ahead, Ben.
I got an angle. I'll try and be short. Justin, the reason that's there, you sound like a man of mature years. I've been doing this stuff since I was a kid. I've been a real estate construction. Reason I do it is because, pardon my language, but I've learned through the years, and I'm almost 60 years old now. Shit happens, and that's really what that's for. We put a deal together. You have needs. You want to close. You want to move on to do what we've discussed, and I want to make sure that neither one of us gets held up.
That's the shit happens response. Okay.
Yeah, that's what that is. Does that make sense? Yeah. Is that what's keeping us from doing business today, or is it something else?
Yeah. Notice that at the end of all these ones that we like, we have a tie down question. Or maybe I would want to call it something other than that. It's more like an escalation question, right? Mm-hmm. Is that really what is? Because honestly, isn't this silly? Isn't that what you kind of want to say to the homeowner? Mr. Homeowner, this is silly. I mean, really, you're not going to do business with me because of and or assigns and what that may or may not implicate for this transaction. Okay, it's silly. You want to act like that, but you can't quite. Maybe you can.
I can't remember because it's been a while since I had my license and I was working for Prudential. But doesn't a standard contract have that and or assigns in a real estate contract? No?
I have a good answer for this, though.
Okay, Jessica.
I keep it real simple and just say, because there are occasions where things do change and it's important to keep options open. That's it.
That's a great answer. That's the best answer we've heard today.
Oh, cool.
It is. Say it again.
Ring the cowbell for her.
One more time. One more time. Say it again.
Just that there's a possibility sometimes things do change and it's important to keep options open.
Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Around that, and you can go into that. For example, if like you say, my accountant says, wait till the first of the year to buy something new. I have a large network of people I work with that I have relationships with where we could easily assign this property to them, and your deal could still be streamlined and seamless and,
Yeah.
and, you know, successful.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What if we were just honest? Because she's kind of suggesting this. What if the homeowner says, "Hey, Mister, what about this and/or signs business? That's just if you're going to buy it, why do we need this?" What if your answer was, "Well, Mister Homeowner, see, I'm going to sell this off to one of my partners, and I'm going to make a little bit of money doing it. But I also know this needs to be a good solution for you. Is this really what's keeping us from doing business today?"
That's good.
Maybe that's the true guts answer. Just being honest as rain, right? Instead of my accountant, like I suggested, I use sometimes, my accountant sometimes wants us to close in a different LLC. And so, that's just gives us the options to do it. That works, but that's bullshit. Right? You don't want to be a bullshit artist, do you? So maybe
you should start with Claude's line. You want me to lie to you or tell you the truth?
Yeah, maybe you do that. Well, and/or signs. Okay, Mr. Homeowner, you want me to lie to you or tell you the truth? Yeah. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell this deal off to a partner. I'm going to make a little bit of money doing it. But I also know this needs to be a great solution for you. Is that unreasonable? And can we go ahead and move forward? Or is this deal over? Boom.
What do you think? That is the guts move.
What do you think? Give me some feedback, guys.
Yep.
Garrett, what do you got on your mind, Garrett? I saw the wheels turning a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, it may piss some people off, but I mean, I would say, yeah, that's probably the guts way.
Yeah. So I
wouldn't like leave dead space there after you say that. I would say, look, you said this and this and this and this, and you've got this issue you want to deal with, and you want to move to Florida, and you want to get there as soon as possible. You start rehashing some of their pain. Is this something that's going to hold us back from doing business today? Or do you want to take care of this? What would you say to me next, sir?
Okay. It's always good to rehash pain points if you can.
That way you kind of like taking him back to what the real issues are, and now you're off the subject. In a way.
I've got a big question here, though, in my brain. And the question is, and since we're just kind of an intimate group here and we support one another, let's just talk. Is it okay if I keep both answers in my hip pocket here? My accountant says sometimes we need to change to a different LLC just before closing, and that allows us to do it. That's little white lie answer one. And then we have the guts answer two. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, I'm going to sell this deal to a partner and make a little bit of money doing it, but I also know this needs to be a good solution for you.
Yeah.
Is this over, or can we move forward? Okay. Is it ethical for me to use one for one homeowner and the other for another? Or is that me being a little bit of a sketch artist? I just want to know your opinions.
Depends on what they say to you and how standoffish they're being.
I think it's best. And I didn't realize we were definitely going to go to an assignee. I thought that it was just a possibility. So I think it's best to be as honest as you can be.
Okay.
I would think if you said that you might be assigning it to a partner, they might dig even deeper and ask more questions as to who that partner is, stuff like that, right? And now you're digging a hole, maybe.
Why don't you just have your partner call me and I'll just do business with him?
Exactly.
Because you were the liaison, though. You brought them the deal.
Well, give them my phone number.
They don't care about that.
Give them my phone number. Boy,
They
are we into a conversation here?
I think it's ethical where it's about sales. And if you're doing it for the sake of persuasion and you're not there to exploit or steal from anybody,
Yeah.
then it's ethical.
Right. Right. My opinion on it is probably unpopular, but I agree with Ben. And that is that the salesman's job is to sell. How do you do that? By making them want to buy. Right? I'm not horribly misleading them. I'm not setting them up to fail. I'm not setting them up for damage. I'm not doing any of those things by this statement. This statement is what they need to hear to feel comfortable enough to buy. Man, I have a hard time not spitting it out of my face. Okay, now you weigh the scales yourself, but I'm telling you, I'm a guilty man.
There's a lot of investors who are busy people and don't have time to look for deals, but they have the money and they need deals for their portfolio. So
Absolutely.
what you're providing, I work with a lot of different people, and some people do what I do. Some people just need deals for their portfolio. This might be something that I just pass on to one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Or the old guts question. That's an interesting question. You've asked that for a reason. May I ask what that reason is?
That's good.
Or tell me what that reason is.
Yeah. 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 Well,
they'll guide you right through it most of the time.
Good discussion. Good discussion. Anything else on this topic before we somebody else with another topic, another question? Anybody? Anyone? No one? Okay. Anybody with a new topic? Anybody with a new question? A new role play? Anything you're working on? What's happening in your business? That was a great one. I'm glad we spent some time on that. I had fun with that one.
Did that answer Vaughn's question?
Vaughn, I think we answered your question 100 times over, but not sure.
Good.
He said, yeah, good. All right. So I want to spend a little time role playing the closing section today. The closing section, as you're aware, in the guts stages here, there's the staircase, there's the agenda, the second step, the qualification, and third step, the closing. And I find that people have found pitfalls in learning this in each of the stages. However, it's a little bit easier, I find, to learn the agenda and the qualification, I feel like, and a little bit more difficult to learn this closing stage, partly because our nerves. Like we get to this, if we get to the closing stage, don't we kind of get a little bit more nervous there?
Give me that screen one more time. I'm kind of wanting to shoot that.
Yeah, no problem. But does anybody else get nervous when you're doing your calls and you get to the closing stage? Do you feel a little bit more sense of anxiety? I do.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone. That's good.
Yeah.
And so I think it makes it a little bit tougher for us to learn that. And you can see how Guts breaks it down. The closing stage is the recapping the motivations. I wish that I had, maybe not, because motivations can be needs or greeds, right? They can be either needs or greeds. So somebody give me a quick example of a need.
Relocating.
Okay, a forced relocation due to some job extenuating circumstance. Yeah. Okay, somebody give me an example of a greed. We spent a whole hour a few weeks ago role playing nothing but greedy sellers. That was fun. So somebody give me an example of a greed.
Want to buy the new Mercedes.
There you go.
or whatever.
Yeah, or Tesla. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get a new Tesla, and I'm going to
550.
sell.
Hey.
I want to sell, this rental property, the 13th rental property, because I'm a superstitious person. And I don't like having 13 houses.
It happens.
Okay, that might even be a need. I don't know. We were kind of getting in the gray area there. So we have to recap. Here's what how I like to describe it: the pain points. Okay, the pain points. And when we talk about the motivation scale, if it's a homeowner that has pain, they have a need, then this is really kind of a pain scale.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? It's kind of a pain scale. The motivation scale 1 through 10 is kind of a pain scale. So now when you go to the hospital or something like that, and they ask you 1 through 10, somebody tell me, what is level 10 pain? How do they describe level 10 pain at the hospital? Anybody know?
Screaming at the top.
Maximum, dire, worst.
Excruciating. Unbearable.
Alan said it right. Screaming at the top of your lungs. That is a 10.
Oh.
Okay. What is a 5 pain at the hospital? When they say, we need to know Mr. Patient, we need to know your pain level 1 through 10, so we know what to give you. 10 is screaming. What are you? You're a 5.
In the lobby.
Say that again. Say that again, Alan.
Keep waiting in the lobby. You're not that important.
Exactly. A 5 is not that important, because a 5 is like maybe a pretty bad headache.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take some Tylenol, go to bed. What about a 3 or a 2? I'm not a female, but maybe it makes me think of maybe that's some light cramps or something. Maybe, 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
So we're not talking like screaming, but man, you feel a dull. You're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So we've established that somebody in a pain level of 1, 2, or 3, or even 4, are they uncomfortable?
And they get a pamphlet and sent home.
Yeah, they might be uncomfortable, but they've got options at this point. They could take ibuprofen, they could take an Aleve, they could take Tylenol, they could go to bed, they could maybe take a Midol. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's just there's options for you. Okay, but now when you get into the 6, 7, and 8s, now you're really somebody that's hurting pretty bad. You're not screaming, but man, you're miserable. Okay, see, now, is this changing the perspective on how you're looking at your homeowner conversations and your prospect conversations a little bit? Yeah. Where do they fit on this pain scale? Okay, are they a 6, 7, 8 truly? If they're a 6, 7, or 8, what do they do for you at the hospital?
Give you morphine.
Well, they're probably going to start out giving you some Tylenol 8s or something like that. This is some prescription grade Tylenol. So now we're getting out of the I've got personal options that I can fix. Right now we're getting into the doctor needs to help because I need a prescription. Okay. Right. Then we get up to the 10s. We need prescriptions. We need an IV. We need a team. We need to call the priest, Yeah,
everybody on the field.
Yeah, this is a 10. Okay, and everybody in the hospital knows it because he's screaming that loud. Are there 10 level homeowners out there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure there are. Yeah. Yeah. And they scream, I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm leaving this property. I'm never coming back. I don't even care what happens to it. I'm done with it. I'm walking away. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a 10 to me. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And 8 still needs this prescription. A 6, a 7, and 8 needs a prescription, but they sound a little bit less. Yeah, oh yeah, it hurts, and I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't figure out a way to. I don't know what to do. That sounds like an 8 to me.
Yeah.
All right. But now we drop down the scale, 1 through 4, and a 5 sounds like what? Cranky, mean.
Yeah.
Unhappy. I got a headache.
You're the 20th person to call me today.
Yeah, you're just a part of my headache.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So
is there a seminar in town?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we go into the closing stage, I think it's vastly important for us to understand, according to Guts and the staircase that Claude built for us here,
Mm-hmm.
it's vastly important for us to understand what pain level they have. And somebody explain to me why. And I feel like this is probably the weakest point. And sometimes it's just inexperience because we're growing. But being able to pick up, ask the right questions in the agenda and the qualification stages, and then pick up on what these really, are they really hurting? Is this a 7 or an 8?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this a 3? Does this guy need to take a Midol and go to bed? You know what I mean? Go put your feet up. Okay. Or is this somebody with a real hurt, that a real pain that needs a prescription? Hey, Dr. Justin, to the Deal emergency room. Dr. Justin, paging Dr. Justin to the Deal emergency room. We have an emergency.
We're gonna have to start getting props with a big pill, like all of our other stuff, like the Popeyes and everything, and get a pill. We got your fix right here.
Yeah.
Get your medicine.
That's what I need. I need a big, you're right, dude. I need one of those. I need a big pill back here.
Show Jessica Frank.
Oh, I don't want
Who pills.
I don't want to scare her. She'll have to look that one up. So what are we going to do with this information? First of all, somebody just expand a little bit on it and tell me why what's in your own words, why do we need to know the pain level here?
To determine whether or not you have a viable deal, a viable party. Are they of character, and can they close?
And to be in tune with that person, where meet them where they're at, understand and like tune into their situation.
Don't you love the feminine perspective? I do. I mean, and she's dead on balls right.
Okay.
You cannot have this closing stage without having established some connection with that person. How do you establish that connection with them? By asking the right questions in this qualification stage and listening to the pain and relating to it somehow in the way before you get here.
Yeah.
She's right, 100% right.
Yeah.
Ben, you were saying something too. What were you saying? Did you say something about this?
Yeah, they're if you've gotten to the level that you can determine that it's, let's say, a 7 or better, then provided we've qualified and presented our agenda well, it allows us to determine whether we have whether it's viable to close, to ramp it up. Are they, are they of character, and do they have the ability to close?
Yeah. So you guys remember,
if they're still wishy-washying around at 5, 6, 4, then there's nothing to close. We're spinning our wheels.
Okay, Uncle Claude, the attorney, he brought down the judgment And the judgment was that when we have a 1 through 5 on the pain scale here, what are we supposed to do?
Hire the prospect or put him in a tickler file.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the two.
Thank them for their time, send them a free something or other, and call them back when they're ready to cut their head off.
Are you going to go ahead and try to see, well, hey, I was just curious, if I were to do something, creative with you, like maybe pay you off in 36 months, and was that something you would talk about? I mean, am I going to go ahead and just try to willy-nilly throw a line in the water here? Or am I just going to do what gut says and just fire this person?
He's got his 3 minutes.
I would rather you. Okay, somebody answer this for me, please. You guys understand the question?
Yeah. I think I'd be inclined to throw them a line. As long, time permitting. I mean, it pretty much. If they're communicative and it's I might find something there, but if they're not dialed in and they just want to tell me their life story, then no, I'm not throwing a line.
It comes down to the right questions, just like the doctor, gets the patient that comes in, but he's not given the real facts of what is going on.
Yeah.
And until he asks the right question, and the patient says, well, I've been bleeding for like the last 3 days, and like, oh, now we're talking. We got what's going on. So now I know I need to run tests and I need to do this and I need to do that because you finally asked the right question. So it's a matter of asking the right questions.
Let's assume for a moment that we asked all the right questions in the qualification stage. This person is absolutely a 4.
Nah.
Are we going to throw him? Are we going to hear the Baywatch music playing in the background? Here you go. You grab the red floaty, and here you go running in slow motion.
No.
I'm going to throw you a line anyway.
Nah.
Splash, splash, waves. You dive in.
Mhm.
No, I would probably just tell him maybe we should talk in a month or so, see where you're at.
Okay, that's option 2. Option 1 is go ahead and throw them a line. Option 2 is what? Call them again, put them in your beehive, follow up with them again in a couple weeks if you feel they're follow-up worthy. Okay. But they would have had to have given me something to believe they're follow-up worthy. If they're a 4,
Right.
a solid 4, I'm not putting that in my beehive.
Right.
That's not going to make any honey. That's a wasp, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bee.
What's your beef? 6?
My bees, it could be a 5 even maybe, but starting at 6, yeah. I would rather you get off the phone because this guy doesn't even qualify for a follow-up. He's not even going to be a bee in your beehive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mr. Homeowner. Well, I appreciate your time. This doesn't sound like it's going to be a good fit, does it? I'm an investor and I need to get something inexpensive or I need to do something creative, and it sounds like you're just looking for full price cash right now. Is that, am I right?
I need to get a deal done today.
All right. Well, yeah, and I need to do something today. So I'll thank you for your time, sir. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Why throw him a line? He's not going anywhere. Okay. That's my personal opinion on it. You will carry more emotional credibility with this person if you call him back in a week and say, hey, I've been thinking about that property and we talked last week and you didn't seem like you were all that flexible. I was wondering, would you consider something creative with me? I like that better. But see, that he'd have to be a B lead for me to want to do that.
Yeah.
So there's no sense in pitching to a C lead. I'm afraid that a lot of times that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And we're not, because we're not at it, maybe because we want to maximize, we want to be a great salesman, we want to be a deal getter, we need to make the money. Whatever it is, we're motivated to go ahead and try to push through, cross our fingers, and hope maybe somehow a miracle will happen and a 4 will turn into an 8. Man, I just don't see it happening. Are you guys experiencing this happening? Because I can't think of one time I've really experienced this. If I did, I mean, maybe what Dave's talking about, I didn't ask the right questions, and maybe I can get into questions and get further in, But having said the right things and found out the right information and determined that this person's a 4,
I'm still a 4.
I gotta bounce. You
gotta stick to your game plan.
Okay. I agree. Go ahead, Ben.
What happens for me, and I really appreciate this discussion. I think you're absolutely right. Too much time is spent on C leads or C prospects. And my old school training tells me just one more minute, one more call, one more mile.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking is, since Guts and some, other, I'm hanging around different minds now. And I think you're right. F it. Next.
You know why they call it a C lead?
No.
See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that what we're saying, Justin? That
yeah.
In your experience,
Yes.
F it next is more profitable.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because your time is valuable. Spend it with A's and B's. Get rid of C's immediately and never call them again, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I have this war going on in my mind because there's Guts, which is question-based emotional sales. Okay, everybody understands that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have The Wolf of Wall Street, and I have Tom. What was it? Tom Collins? Well, no, that's the drink. Good grief! You guys know who I'm talking about. All the big sales gurus.
Jordan Belfort.
All of them, and they teach.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, and a lot of them teach what I call, and what the Wolf of Wall Street calls, a loop system.
Yeah, straight line.
Yeah, I get down to the close. You don't want to do it because you're a 4. I'll just take you back to the start and show you how great I am again.
Yep.
And we'll get down to the end. You'll have a different objection. I'll take you back to the start, and here we go again.
We kind of do that. We kind of do that with Guts in a way by rehashing their pain, but you're not going to keep going back and forth and beating a dead horse.
The sales methods that are not Guts are very presentation based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Loop presentations. Okay. We are a question based emotional sales technique. What happens to us is we are sales people. We are sales hungry, right? We want to learn how to be awesome at this. And we watch the Guts, we practice the Guts, and then in our spare time, we watch a video from Grant Cardone or Jordan Belfort or some of these other guys, and they teach an entirely different methodology, but we blend the two together into a synthesis of shit that does not work.
Fact.
That's the uniqueness of Claude, is he knows when to pick up the scissors and cut them loose. Whereas they'll beat the dead horse until they beat them up enough to want to close, and then you don't have a happy customer.
Yeah, you've got a wore down customer that cancels the order before the next business day.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, they get the contract and they go on the witness protection program. You never talk to them again. They don't sign it. Okay. So all of this, I think, one is an encouragement to be very careful about who and what you're listening to. Although it's great information, recognize the differentiation between the two, because there is differences, and you don't want to convolute these steps. The pain point, the pain level 6 through 10. Next step, if they're a pain level 6 through 10, they need a prescription from a doctor. They need a Tylenol 8. They need some kind of high-powered hydrocodone or whatever it is. They need something. What do we do with a 6 through 10?
Crank them up.
We crank them up.
Yep.
Okay, what does that mean?
Accentuate the pain.
Yeah.
The first thing we do, exactly. The first thing we do is we recap the pain. Recap the pain. What words do we use to start the recap of the pain? Somebody start one. Somebody start one. You're going to recap my pain.
Before I go.
I'm a pain level 6.
You are experiencing this and that, so that is why you have to sell the house. Am I understanding you correctly, or maybe not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I might say, and it seems like to me you have this pain, and you're afraid of 2 payments, because that can be a real drain on you, can't it? Okay. You see where I'm going? I'm now, as a doctor, I'm qualifying what level of pain he has, and then I'm setting him up for my prescription.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Claude Diamond in the room. Good to see you, Uncle Claude.
How are you? Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Dr. Diamond.
How you? Well, hey, I got exciting news.
What you got?
One of my clients made $120,000 on a property he got 2 months ago.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
What a good Christmas he's going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
North Carolina,
Nice.
Awesome.
Boone County.
Boy, that's big. That's bigger than Chris's Christmas deal a couple of years ago.
He basically does what Mr. Von Cross does. He bought a house. He's got a good contractor. He sunk $50,000 into it, and people were lining up to buy it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I love success stories. Sorry if I interrupted.
No, you did not interrupt. We were talking about how important it is to understand the pain level. Like, I was kind of relating the motivation level 1 through 10 scale to kind of a pain scale. And the higher the pain, the more they need professional help.
It's what's the pain level of a bad toothache? A 10. When do you want that pain removed? Next week? Immediately. So if we can create that in people by our stories, by the questions, not the presentation, just getting them emotionally involved with those good questions, and get them up to an 8, 9, or 10, man, it's a blank check then.
It's like you said in your materials. Does it matter if it's a 10? Does it matter if they have insurance, or, what the dentist is going to charge them? You're in pain. You want to get it taken care of now.
It's blank check time. When you have that much, have you ever had a problem in your life, financial? You ever have a car that broke down on the highway? Okay. And you called AAA and they said they could be there 3 hours. You called a local private garage. You said he'll be there in 10 minutes and he'll charge you $100. Which would you do if you're a busy person?
10 minutes.
Local garage.
You're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay. And so it's a question of what's practical, what you can afford, and how great the pain is. And in real estate, if you can create that pain, that need, that urgency, it's so much easier. They want to buy from you. You don't have to sell them.
Yeah.
And I want to tell people too that if you're on the phone with a 3 or a 4, and they're a solid 3 or a 4 on the pain scale, and you've asked the right questions, and they're not coming up to a 6 or a 7. They're not saying, yeah, I really need some serious, medication here for my pain. If they're a solid 3 or 4, stop beating yourself up because you weren't a great salesman enough to make them an 8 or a 9. See, because I don't know that that's how it works.
That's so brilliant what you said. How much time do we waste with people who will never do business with us or not going to do business with us today?
Yeah.
How much time do we waste doing that free consulting nonsense?
Plenty.
Or Mr. Genius here gets in his car, drives 2 hours in LA traffic to get to a property, and the guy's 40 minutes late. And then he says, "All right, this is great, Claude, but I don't have the money." Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it hurt to ask? Does it hurt to ask the poignant questions to make a deal happen or get a commitment today? Does it really hurt that bad?
Nah.
What's the worst they can say?
No.
Everybody, the beauty and the magic of guts is too that one piece of it is that everybody today is just so damn skeptical. Everybody's skeptical.
Yep.
Everybody's cold. Everybody's hard. Everybody has a wall around them. People don't even leave their home anymore. Okay, in some cases. And here we are calling them, and we think we're going to blue sky. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, how's the weather out there? Oh, great, yeah. I was out with the kids this afternoon. We think that shit's going to work. They see you coming a mile away. So get to the point that matters, which is the beauty of guts.
Yeah. You can get a commitment. You can qualify. You can close in one phone call, in one meeting, or you can get out. But what you don't want to do is this, well, I'll think about it, call me in 2 weeks. Do you ever close those people? Really?
No.
Statistically?
No.
What do you think, Garrett? Do we ever close them?
No, not at all.
Why not spend our valuable God-given life on the people who can put mac and cheese on our table?
Love that.
Or in Jessica's case, tofu with salad.
I don't eat tofu.
They don't call it guts chutzpah selling for nothing, right?
It is a little it's a good point. It is a little aggressive. We've been taught to sell kinder and gentler and give a lot of easy peasy stuff. But if we can create the need, okay. Here, I'll give you a great example. I just spent a gift for my wife. I've been looking for this iPhone. I couldn't find it online anywhere. I'm in a Costco parking lot. I went to the Verizon desk. Guy said, I have one of those left. Sold. Boom.
Right.
Didn't have to tell me about the phone and what it does and how it comes with a foot massager. Sold. Boom.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
I'm glad you guys covered this. I got a quick question. How do you know?
Alan, you never have a quick question.
How do you know whether or not to exacerbate, if it's worth exacerbating the need or greed, if like at the moment you ask them the why, they give you like an intellectual answer, like, oh, I'm only selling because the market is hot. Like at that point, I just want to hang up. So is it bad that I just want to hang up, or
I don't know? Let's role play it. Go ahead. Hit me with that. What was that word? What was that dirty word you used? Exacerbate? That sounds.
Yeah, I learned it from you.
That's a $10 word.
Sounds like a dangerous word there.
Yeah, I got it from you. Thank you.
Only if you do it too much.
I love that word.
Mutual exasperation, right? Exacerbation.
Careful how you spell that.
Go ahead, Brian. Hit me with that question, if that's all right with Justin. I kind of just interrupted him here.
I think that's wonderful. Go for
it. Go ahead, Alan.
Oh yeah, I'm selling because the market's hot. It's a good time to sell.
You're right. I agree with you completely. How are you and I going to do business today?
Well, you give me my asking price, and then I think we could do business.
So even if I gave you a price, you're not sure?
Well, Look, I just put it on the market, but I don't. I'm not in a rush to sell. I just want to see what I'm going to get out of it.
I just want to see if I can buy a home today. Can we do business, or should I go and buy another iPhone
Yeah, we could do business.
today?
I mean, my attorney would have to look at the agreement, make sure everything's okay.
No.
Okay.
I'd like to buy your home. I'd like to discuss buying your home. But if you don't want to sell it, why don't we just say no right now?
I do want to sell it, but I just
But you
wanna
don't
make
sound
sure-
like that. You're saying maybes, probably, think. You said the L word, attorney, or A word, excuse me. Why don't what do we need to do? What do you need from me to do business and make a commitment right now?
My asking price, and
And if I gave you your asking
money deposit to my attorney.
And if I did all that today, could we sign a contract in the next 2 hours?
My attorney's busy. Maybe like the next.
I don't care. I don't care. That wasn't my question. Should I repeat it?
Like I said, we could, but it's going to take.
No,
more than
no,
2
no.
hours.
Sir, I got a feeling you don't want to sell your home. God bless you if you want to keep it. It's a nice home. Maybe stay in it another 10 years. Are you sure I'm almost ready to leave. Are you sure you're putting the winning lottery ticket in the shredder? Should I go, or can we do business as serious gentlemen right now?
I'd love to do business. But like I said, it's just going to.
Doesn't sound like it, sir. I keep asking you what you need from me to make a commitment and do a contract today, and you keep saying mom, maybe, or should. I think it's over. Listen, this was fun. I wish you well, but I'm going to get out of here because it doesn't sound like you really want to sell me your home today.
That's fair.
You're going to have such regret. It's the only problem that really bothers me. When I get off this phone, you're going to have such regrets. You're going to kick yourself. You're going to say, I had a guy on the phone who was serious, has the money, wanted to do a deal, and I let him go because I ticked him off. Do you really want to do that?
Like I said, I mean, it's okay if I don't.
I know what you said, sir. You keep. Okay. Hey, listen, it's over. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Off the role play, is that on Guts 3.0, the regret close?
No, that was Guts 2.0. That was emotional, to the point. It was very honest dialogue because you were obfuscating. You were delaying. You might not even be. I should have qualified you better. You might not even be the owner of the property. See, did you notice I didn't even get into the discussion of the price or anything? I just wanted to find out, could he sell the home today? And what did we learn? What did we learn from him? Did he really want to sell it today?
No.
Hey, Claude,
Yes.
instead of breaking up with them like that, though, so abruptly, what about, leaving that, that relationship potential there for down the road? You don't believe in that at all?
I've been married for 35 years. I don't need another girlfriend.
Well, but that lead, if you have, maybe you can still get off the phone at the same time. If you, like I say, you don't break up with them or break their heart, you just say, hey, I can see the timing's not right, but you've got my number. Give me a call if down the road, 'cause
Statistically, honestly, do you think I'm ever going to do a deal with this guy?
No, but his argument was he really needs to have his attorney's feedback, and
What's that mean?
That's important to him.
What's that really mean? I just want to write a check. I didn't argue the price or anything. We didn't even get into that. All I wanted to know is, could he make a commitment? And who was putting up the roadblocks?
He is, because actually, if you're going to give him his price, what's his attorney got to do with saying yes or no?
Exactly. But he was using those should, could words all the time.
You haven't thrown anything creative at him that he needs an attorney to advise him.
Yeah. And a little self-diagnostic, a little criticism on myself. I was way too long in that role play with him. I was about 2 minutes, 3 minutes too long in that role play with him. Life is short. Don't let people manipulate you and waste your time. What happens when we talk? And Alan, this is not critical of you. You were great, man. You were fan. You played it I don't like easy role plays. Okay.
Mhm.
But when we get these people all day long, what does that do to our self-esteem, our confidence, our mojo?
Goes down.
Takes all day.
Listen, he should be kissing my feet that he's got a guy who, listen, I'm ready to do business. And he's pushing me away. What does that tell you?
Not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because when you talk about this, Claude, it reminds me of the times I've gone on Craigslist and I've hit up somebody to buy something. And whenever I hit up somebody on Craigslist that's got a listing to buy something that's cheap nature, maybe $200-$300 a treadmill, if that person responds back to me and they're like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to be available to show it to you until next Saturday and blah, 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 I'm on to the next one. Bye-bye. I don't put him in my follow-up list. He's not a B lead for me. He's a bye-bye lead, C lead, right? Yeah. So but yet when we get into the house business, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I might be able to make this person fall in love with me.
$1,000 something phone here. He had me at hello. Yeah, we've got one left in stock. Sold. Boom. I didn't need to argue. I didn't have to ask 28 questions. I knew what I wanted. I have the money to do it. He had one left in stock. You can't find this phone online. Boom. It's done.
Didn't matter if it was white or black.
It didn't matter. He had it. I wanted to get it. Claudia needed a new phone. When I'm ready to buy and the other person is putting up roadblocks and obstacles, how much time should we waste?
0.
Yeah. In the end, you find out they didn't have the authority. They really don't want to sell it. They're not motivated enough to sell it. They don't have the ownership maybe of the property. They have to go to a board of directors or siblings from a probate or something like that. Don't let people waste. Do you guys ever work really hard all day long, driving, making phone calls, and everybody said, think about it, call me later, call me next week, send me this, send me that. Nobody made a commitment. Everybody picked your brain. How does that make you feel at the end of the day emotionally?
Yeah.
This business can be so much fun making money if you don't waste a lot of time.
I agree. So make the commitment to never spend more than 3 minutes on the phone with a C lead for the rest of your life. Ever.
Unless it's David Skulnick on the phone, right?
If you are going to make a lot of money in this business, it's going to be because you spent, as a business owner, 80% of your time talking to A and B quality leads. Period. Ask anyone who knows, and they will tell you that is the facts.
Nice.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Love you guys. Any other questions? Anything we can do before we wrap up here?
How do I get rich in real estate?
One deal at a time.
One deal at a time, baby.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You guys are great. Hey, round of applause to Justin here for doing this today.
Oh yeah.
Hey, good job.
Yeah.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Mwah.
Take care.
I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Or tomorrow if you're in my club. Bye-bye.